escape the notice of United fans that with the Manchester derby coming up Sunday, last night City warmed up in style, scored 6, Haaland hit 5, De Bruyne assisted 4. On top of that, Ten Hag backed super flop Anthony, who plays tonight. There are stories him and Rashford don't get on, and of course they were beaten at home on Saturday by Fulham. If ever a manager needed a win, it's Ten Hag tonight. Forest against United, FA Cup 5th round live on Talksport with former Villa and Chelsea captain Andy Townsend alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you for yet another hugely significant night for Manchester United, a club for whom one bad result polarises opinion and invites conjecture like few others. The 5 wins in a row suggested a corner turn. The performance and result against Fulham was a retrograde step, setting up this monumental week. Tonight, the aperitif to the weekend's Manchester derby, and the first FA Cup meeting between these two sides for 34 years. The parallels are obvious. That game back in 1990 became famous for the goal that, so say, saved Alex Ferguson's job. United came here injury hit on the back of a winless run of 8 games that had yielded only 4 points, and which had taken them to within 2 points of the relegation zone. 20-year-old Mark Robins scored the only goal. United didn't draw another top-flight team all the way through to the final, where they beat Palace in a replay. Fergie had silverware. United had their saviour. Now United come to Forest again. Injury hit. South of where they want to be in the table. Speculation intensifying. In need of a Mark Robins moment. Forest themselves also searching a catalyst. They've won only 4 games here all season, but one of those was against United, and a repeat of that result tonight, Andy, will see headlines and further conjecture go hand in hand. This, unescapably, is a big night.
Oh, it's a huge night, Jim. It really is a huge night. Look, and for both teams for different reasons. If Forest were to win this one, the boost, the noise, I've got to tell you, in this stadium tonight, it's going to be deafening if Forest do get on top of United and win this. And of course, it will kickstart, hopefully, what could be a revival for them for Premier League survival. For United, it's imperative. It goes without saying. They are in the business of winning trophies. The money they've spent on amassing this squad, they've got to produce. Big night for Ten Hag this.
Forest made 4 changes to the side, beaten at Villa. Williams, Felipe, Murillo and Topolo, who replaces Niakate, all in front of Turner. Danilo and Yates, who's in for Dominguez. Former United winger Elanga, Gibbs-White and Origi, who's preferred to Hudson-Odoi. And Awoniyi. United, Onana in goal. Dalot, Varane. Lindelof moves to left back to replace the injured Maguire, and Amrabat comes in. Mainu makes way for McTominay to partner Casemiro. Anthony's in for Forson. Fernandes plays at 10. Garnacho on the left. Rashford up top. And we're underway. 10 injuries. Ten Hag under pressure. The last chance of silverware. This, so much more than just another cup tie for Manchester United. Forest hoping to compound their worries. And the prize for the winners, a quarter-final tie at home to Liverpool or Southampton. Forest red shirts, white shorts. Manchester United, the inverse of that, white shirts with dark red shorts, and in possession now. The ball is played forward to Garnacho. And Garnacho working it back towards the edge of his own penalty area here for Victor Lindelof, who's playing on the right of the 2 centre-halves today. Played at left back at the weekend, of course, but playing on the right with Varane on the left of the 2, and he's in possession now, Andy.
Yes, and he rolls it out to Amrabat, who's in that left-back position. So maybe that's why Ten Hag wants to put Rafa Varane there, just to make sure that he gives a little bit of support, sweeping in and around in behind Amrabat, if off this side Divock Origi wants to really start taking him on. But looking forward to the tie, looking forward to the night. Always a great atmosphere in this ground. It will be no exception this evening. Forest will fancy their chances, and of course against a team like United that are a bit fragile and a bit brittle, you get at them early on and you test them.
And here's Anthony Elanga trying to do exactly that on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Little flighted ball in, takes a deflection. And the first corner of the night goes Nottingham Forest's way. Well, this has already got some way to live up to what's happening on Talksport 2 right now, where it's Chelsea 1, Leeds 1. Matteo Joseph scoring the first senior goal of his career to give Leeds the lead. Nicholas Jackson's equalised. It's 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. And it continues live for you right now on Talksport 2. We get news of a goal at Molineux in a moment, but first of all, this Nottingham Forest corner which will be taken on the left flank. Morgan Gibbs-White, the man that has gone out there. Forest have got 4 on the edge of the penalty area, making differing runs. A little bit too early, as it turned out. Langer sprinting in towards the near post area. Now Gibbs-White delivers. Good header away coming by Scott McTominay. Comes outside the box for Danilo. And he'll play it back out towards Gibbs-White on that Nottingham Forest left-hand side. Touch inside the penalty area, not the best. United clear, and let's get news of an opener for Wolves. Adam Bridge.
Wolves 1, Brighton 0, just 80 seconds on the clock. Mario Lemina with a finish at the second attempt after a brilliant run down the left-hand side by Bellegarde. It's Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
So Wolves leading 1-0, Chelsea 1, Leeds 1, Liverpool Southampton kicks off at 8. Now we'll keep you abreast of all of the important action as it transpires. Nottingham Forest unable to do anything with their first corner, but Manchester United now have the chance with their first, won by Garnacho on the left-hand side.
Yeah, they just defended a Morgan Gibbs-White corner, and then once they headed that away, Scott McTominay doing well at the near post, and they quickly broke forward onto the left side where Garnacho is operating. He takes it to the byline, wins them this corner.
Corner that Bruno Fernandes is going to take. Front of the Trent end. Works short for Garnacho. Back for Bruno. Cross the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed effort. Hits the bar. Really well worked set piece. And he came out to Anthony on the edge of the box. He hit it beautifully. Left-footed. And it's cannoned off the top of the bar.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Jim. That is a beautifully worked corner, that. Bruno Fernandes rolls that short to the corner of the 18-yard box where Garnacho sets it back to him first time, but he sets it back so as he can walk onto it and hit it first time. He hits a diagonal right to the far side of the 18-yard box where Anthony is waiting on the edge with his left foot, and he walks onto that and he wraps his foot around it hard, hits it true, and it rattles the crossbar. That's very, very unlucky.
Still reverberating right now away to our left-hand side, that crossbar. He's only scored once in his last 35 games, which came at Newport in round 4. He's only got 1 goal in his last 37 Premier League games. That came against Nottingham Forest back last April, and he's about an inch and a half away from giving Manchester United the lead here.
Well, I mentioned, I was talking to Adrian just before the kickoff about the need for him to start finding some end product. And yes, he's got to work back. Yes, he's got to double team with Dalot when they're under the cosh. He's got to make sure he does all of that. But he's out there as an £80 million player to find something for United in these tight matches, make a difference when he gets a chance. How he could have done with that being, as you say, 6 inches lower, because that would have given Matt Turner no chance.
Well, the ball is played out towards Anthony here, who tries to take it down the touchline. It's a good challenge on him from Topolo, and he goes out of play. An interesting defensive setup here for Manchester United, who, when they got possession, are gravitating towards a 3. Dalot staying back as one of the centre-halves alongside Lindelof and Varane. So Amrabat not really playing as an orthodox left-back. He's pushing forward into his customary defensive midfield position. Anthony plays it down the right-hand side. Casemiro helping it on. The white shirts coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. The layoff for Anthony. Little 1-2 between him and Dalot. And now flighted deeper towards the back stick. Garnacho letting it bounce over his head. And Forest making life difficult. Nico Williams watching him every step of the way. But his steered clearance only falls for the bearded Moroccan Amrabat. Now down towards Varane. Varane's got Bruno Fernandes much deeper in support. In from him to the feet of Rashford. McTominay on the turn with space to work in the midfield. Out towards Anthony, who hit the bar moments ago. Scott McTominay's got it again. Good challenge by Danilo, but it's decent Manchester United pressure this in the early stages, Andy, with Forest back around the edge of their own penalty area for a lot of it.
Yep, no good spell from United. They're back 4 up on the halfway line. Varane now 10-15 yards inside Forest territory into Bruno. Unfortunately, that one gets intercepted.
Origi trying to hoist it forward and steered neatly enough by McTominay back to his goalkeeper away to the right-hand side, Onana.
What they can do tonight, that Dalot and Amrabat can both move forward with the confidence, having Casemiro and Scott McTominay there. You know, experienced boys. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo, singing his praises earlier, I think he's been excellent, really, really good. And you can trust that boy, believe me. But with McTominay and Casemiro, those 2 fullbacks can go and join in, or they can wander into a midfield position.
So here's Dallow making his way forward. Good ball in, McTominay! And it's well saved by Turner, diving away to his right. Fernandez inside the penalty area. Little cushion header loops up from Anthony. It's a much easier save from Turner. The first time ball in was an excellent one. Scott McTominay will be really disappointed that a free header hasn't gone in.
Yeah, just like they did at Villa Park. Diogo Dallow whipping across him, McTominay getting his head on it. That's exactly what's happened again here. And I actually think Scott McTominay could have done a bit better with this one. It's a brilliant ball in once more. And there's nothing wrong in terms of the contact, but I do think a little bit more direction on that header and United would have a lead.
Well, he left Felipe for dead. He was just waiting for the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody had picked up his run from midfield, and it could and probably should have been his 9th goal of the season. It remains 0-0, but United have missed a really good chance and hit the bar, and we're only 7.5 minutes in. Now Amrabat losing a battle for pace. Divock Origi from a tight angle straight at Onana, and he couldn't find a one-year in the middle, but that will be a source of concern for Erik ten Hag, the ease at which Origi beat Amrabat, with the Moroccan having had a 3-yard head start there.
Correct. Yep, they lost possession. Rashford lost the ball 30-40 yards from Forest goal. One quick pass out to the right-hand side saw Origi in a foot race with Amrabat, and the Forest man won that hands down. The shot from a tight angle, easily saved.
You're listening to Nottingham Forest against Manchester United in the FA Cup. It's live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. And Forest work the ball forward down the left-hand side of the box. Anthony Elanga, another man who will feel that he's got a point to prove after being made surplus to requirements at Old Trafford. 53 games for Manchester United, a £15 million move here. Where he certainly feels the love and affection that perhaps wasn't there in his last 6 months at Old Trafford. Onana playing it out from the back for Rafa Varane. And Varane's able to side-foot it forward. Rashford giving chase. Felipe, the veteran, at the heart of the defence, able to comfortably guide it back, and it's played out towards Murillo. Had arguably his worst game for Nottingham Forest. Hardly put a foot wrong since signing for the club from Corinthians, but struggled at the weekend against Villa. And he and Felipe both taken off at half-time in that game, but both retained tonight. And Forest have done well. Good industry from Harry Toffolo on the left-hand side to win another corner, their second of the game, in 9 gone at 0-0.
Yeah, Anthony actually does really well in chasing back with Harry Toffolo. Shoulder to shoulder over about a 40-yard stretch. He just gets the United man, and Toffolo just leans into him. And the contact he makes with it, Anthony sends it out for a corner to Forest. Again, they stacked up everybody, 5 players again, Jim, on that penalty spot, but they very quickly run under the crossbar to smother Onana.
So Onana at the moment thinks he's got a relatively free ride. United defending zonally inside the 6-yard box. They've got 5 back, but that quintet of red shirts now make their way forward, and all of a sudden the 6-yard box is quickly getting flooded. Right-footed ball swept inside the penalty area, too deep for everybody. And it goes out of play for a goal kick that'll be taken by Andre Onana away to our right-hand side. It's 0-0 with 10 minutes gone here on Talksport. Now we will keep you up to date with all the events going on elsewhere. 5 games in the Scottish Premiership tonight. Celtic starting the night 2 points adrift of Rangers at the top. They already lead Dundee, thanks to a goal from Cameron Carter-Vickers. Celtic 1, Dundee 0. Everything else so far in the Premiership tonight is 0-0. Wolves leading 1-0 in the FA Cup at home to Brighton. And it's 1-1 between Chelsea and Leeds. That live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Again, the Talksport network tonight, giving you a choice of listening. And there's nowhere else on national radio that you can hear this game from the East Midlands, which is at 0-0, but an entertaining opening 11 minutes in which Manchester United have been well on top without quite finding the breakthrough.
Yeah, they've had the better situations. Great chance with McTominay. Anthony very unlucky with a really well-worked corner. The first one of the game, actually. That'll be something that they've worked on. First corner we get, let's try this little routine. They'll have worked at it, and it very nearly paid off for them. But it's been a bright start to the game. Forest 1 or 2 little raids without really stitching anything significant together yet, possession-wise.
Dallow's got possession. And he's over on the Manchester United right. He's found Amrabat. And back he goes out towards Dallow again. the most famous meetings of these two clubs in the relatively recent past. This will make you feel old, Andy. It's 25 years ago now that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came off the bench and scored 4 in the last 10 minutes here in an 8-1 win.
Is that right?
25 years ago.
Wasn't that the game Big Rom's in charge of Forest? I think he was, and he said we were involved in a 9-goal thriller.
Yeah, and he also came out and went to the wrong dugout, which he was hoping that nobody had noticed and he got away with, but he didn't. It was 1-1 after 6 minutes, and that was as good as he got for Forest. They're on the front foot here, 0-0 tonight. Gibbs White on the drive, right-footed effort that's cannon back off Casemiro. And comes out of this near touch line where Garnacho's done well. He's kept it in. Nuno said he didn't. But the assistant referee didn't agree. I think the officials got it right. Garnacho ends up running down a cul-de-sac around the edge of the penalty area, and Yates will bring it away. Bruno Fernandes just nibbling at his ankles a couple of times, but Yates has maintained possession and finds Danilo. Last time that Nottingham Forest won an FA Cup 5th round tie, a couple of years ago, Ryan Yates got the winner that night. I think he's the only player playing for Forest tonight who featured in that game. It was a win against Huddersfield. They had a really good cup run that year. Beat Arsenal, Leicester here, then Huddersfield, and ended up losing to Liverpool in the quarter-finals. A rare visit to the quarters. This, in fact, tonight, only their 3rd 5th round tie in the last 19 years, which shows how difficult this competition has been for them in the recent past. They're in possession here, having survived a slightly fractious and nervy start, still on level terms, and they've got the ball at the back here with the bearded Brazilian Felipe. Ball from him to Divock Origi, who started on the right with Elanga out on the left. Origi, lovely ball down the inside right channel. Lawonyi, Elanga making his way into the middle, tapped the near post, and it was a sliding challenge that got it away from Dalot. Good defending. But Nico Williams can pick it up now on the Nottingham Forest right. Still 0-0. As Kilmarnock take the lead at home to Rangers from the penalty spot, which means as things stand right now, Celtic at top of the table. Danny Armstrong's penalty for informed Kilmarnock. They lead Rangers, Celtic lead Dundee. Amrabat back to his goalkeeper. Nana's coming out to pick that up, and Amrabat got a touch. And then Nana hastily had to kick it away. And the bounce on his clearance almost fell Rashford's way, but Felipe judged the bounce effectively enough, and Danilo now will bring it forward for Forest. And towards Divock Origi again, running towards the edge of the penalty area. Another clever little reverse ball in. Lawonyi from a tight angle. First one blocked. Second one deflected wide by Lindelof for another Nottingham Forest corner.
Tell you what, Divock Origi has done really well in this opening 15 minutes. He had that one run where he went shoulder to shoulder with Amrabat and done him and got the shot away from a tight angle, but he's picked up the ball in some nice areas when he's wide. He's linked up nicely with Nico Williams outside him, and then just there when he drifts infield and Lawonyi makes a run for him, he's got the little bit of vision and bit of class to roll in the ball. He's played really well so far.
So Gibbs White will take this corner. He just lifts his shirt up to wipe his perspiring brow. And now has taken 3 steps back, standing motionless until he raises his left arm down by the red corner flag. Now runs up towards the ball, right-footed away swinging delivery, headed high up in the air by a United defender. Comes back out towards the edge of the box. Elanga trying his luck. Yates was in there, but United are able to get it away easily enough. And it'll be picked up in the centre of midfield by Harry Toffolo. And Danilo might be able to get Forest going again. Left-footed ball forward from him. Lawonyi coming to meet it. It was awkward but effective, the controls. He laid it back for Elanga. He was robbed though by Casemiro. And United might be able to break here with Rashford out towards Anthony on the United right. Anthony, who hit the bar inside the opening 4 minutes here. It's still goalless. We played 16. That was a disappointed ball that was knocked forward, and Nico Williams, Andy, could easily knock it away.
Yeah, Scott McTominay there trying to switch it out to Garnacho. Again, United, we know they like to turn the ball over and counter really quickly. That's pretty much always been very apparent in the best Man United teams, and it's the strong point, I think, of Ten Hag's team that they can do that. But the pass from Scott McTominay there, not accurate enough, not heavy enough, and it doesn't find the target, and Forest were able to get back and recover.
Those are the thoughts of the former Republic of Ireland captain Andy Townsend here on Talksport, an exclusive national radio commentary tonight of Nottingham Forest against Manchester United. They're playing for the right to host either Liverpool or Southampton in the quarter-finals. We'll run through the rest of the draw in a moment. McTominay trying to get it inside the box. Rashford! And he's put it over the bar. Sharp chance for him, 16 yards out. But he didn't have any immediate pressure on him. It came onto his right foot. He hit it with real pace, but he didn't get the dip.
Target. I think there Marcus Rashford has to hit the target. Nice football from United down the right side. McTominay it was, little link up, and he gets towards the byline. He cuts it back. Marcus Rashford is in between penalty spot and the edge of the 18-yard box. Comes at him on his right foot first time. I just think there he can hit the target. He should be able to get his shoulder over, get over that one, and just keep that one under the bar.
So the winners of this at home to Liverpool or Southampton. As Forest bring it forward again on the right-hand side of the box. Awoniyi, good save from Onana. It might have been going wide anyway. Got a right hand to it. Took the sting out of the shot. And Dalot was there with the aid of McTominay to get it away, but McTominay's given it away. Rough couple of minutes for him. Danilo working it back. Yates has got it in midfield. And it goes back towards halfway. Elsewhere in the draw, Manchester City at home to Newcastle. Chelsea or Leeds at home to Leicester. And Wolves or Brighton will host Coventry. And the games will take place on the third weekend of March, 16th, 17th, 18th of March. Nico Williams in possession. He's played it back for Danilo. Back from him towards Felipe, and Nottingham Forest more than happy just to get a touch of the ball inside their own half for a moment. Now Danilo mixing it up, sending it wide out towards the left, where Elanga jumps on the touchline and brings the ball under control. Back from him to Yates. Toffolo to halfway. Now Nottingham Forest working it back again towards Felipe. 1-1 between Chelsea and Leeds in the game that's live for you right now over on Talksport 2, with Nicholas Jackson equalising Mateo Joseph's opening goal. And Wolves leading Brighton. The last time we heard from Talksport's Adam Bridge.
The Wolves 1, Brighton 0. That goal from Mario Lemina inside 2 minutes, his first FA Cup goal. Brighton could have been level though. Corner swung in from the left-hand side. Ansu Fati 2 yards out. Surely could have got something on it, but it harmlessly went out for a goal kick. It's Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
Cheers, Ad. The ball with Harry Toffolo finding Elanga. Left-footed ball clipped inside the penalty area. Now Williams the first to react to that. And he's done well to check. Garnacho, to his credit, didn't dive in. Williams chipping up across towards the far post. Big shout for handball inside the penalty area. There is VAR. They'll be having a look at it. Ryan Yates then playing it forward, and the boot was raised in midfield by Morgan Gibbs-White. And a free kick has gone Manchester United's way. But the handball shout is being assessed right now by the VAR, Michael Salisbury.
Yeah. Big shout went up. The ball was clipped up into the box, and just saw a couple of white United shirts going for that. I'm not sure it was who was absolutely backpedaling, but it just looked like someone was struggling to get their head on it a little. The arms were up. It's Varane. I tell you what, if that hits Varane's hand, that's crazy. For an experienced boy like him, Jim, I honestly. So Varane's gone to head this. He's struggling a little bit to get it, but he actually, in leaning backwards trying to head it, he throws his arms up in the air, and he's very close, I think, to touching the ball. Clearly he doesn't. It looks like we're playing on.
Yeah, his right arm came up for balance because he misjudged it, and it must have dropped just over his hand and hit the Manchester United defender who was in behind him. It's a let-off. Amrabat now with a poor touch. Lindelof has bailed him out big time. But Nico Williams can pick it up here for Forest. And they've had the better of the last 5 minutes after United had a decent opening 10 minutes or so with the two beat chances. But Garnacho's won it back. Fernandes forward towards Rashford. Excellent sliding challenge from Felipe. Not the quickest these days, but he read it really well. Now, correctly judging that he's got players coming in from all sides, he's able to protect the ball, get it back for Danilo. Awoniyi making life difficult for Lindelof, who had enough of a head start and stayed goal side. Awoniyi's actually pulled him back. And Manchester United have a free kick inside their own half.
Yeah, just over the 20-minute mark. You're right, Jim. The last 7 or 8 minutes, Forest have had better possession and have been much more of a threat. The opening 10 minutes, they had the odd corner, that shot from Origi from a tight angle, but they've just started to, again, see more of the ball in the midfield and getting their wide men involved and getting Awoniyi looking like there might be something for him.
In Scotland, Livingston leading Motherwell by a goal to nil. The side bottom of the table, scoring inside 3 minutes tonight. Teddy Yengi with that as they look for only their second win in the last 20 league games. And Celtic have doubled their lead at home to Dundee. Adam Eda's 12th of the season. 5 of those for Celtic. Divock Origi's had a really good start. Good first quarter of the game from him. He's won another corner here off Amrabat. It's Forest's 4th, which will come from the right flank. 0-0.
Yeah, and each time Morgan Gibbs-White is on the corners off the other side, he's whipping them under the bar and off of Forest's right-hand side, which is where he finds himself this time with his right foot. He's going to be whipping something. You want the ideal position here is between penalty spot and the edge of the 6-yard box. And then those big guys can work a little block. They just might be able to leave somebody with a little bit more room than usual. If they're unmarked, there's some big guys there, really are. Felipe, Murillo, all of them. Awonyi, Origi, they're all looking to attack this.
So Gibbs-White gives the signal again. That stuttering runner, right-footed, plenty of whip on it, and the initial contact from a Forest player sends it over the bar. It's a sharp chance, 2 or 3 players attacking the ball from the penalty spot, and it's just cannon off the head of one of them, maybe Murillo, and gone over the bar and out of play for a goal kick. Chelsea have turned it around at Stamford Bridge, leading 2-1 now. Mikhail Mudryk is the player that has given them that 2-1 advantage. They were a goal down inside the opening 10 minutes, but Jackson and Mudryk making it Chelsea 2, Leeds 1, and it continues live right now. If you want Talksport 2, if you've got the Talksport app, you can easily just flick left, flick right, and you can be kept abreast of all of the salient moments of action in both games as they transpire tonight. This one is 0-0, but an entertaining 0-0. The sense that it might not be goalless for too long. Here's McTominay on the right-hand side of the penalty area for Manchester United. He's won a throw, which Anthony will leave for Diogo Dalot to take. Dalot with the ball in his hands. Chuck forward and well controlled by Anthony if he's playing basketball. It's a free kick.
Good start to the game though. Nice bright feel to this particular cup tie. And obviously there's potentially, without being disrespectful to my old team Southampton, potentially there's a big one in store. Whoever comes out on top here this evening could possibly be facing Liverpool. Of course, Saints will have plenty to say about that. However, so yeah, both these teams I think have started well.
Well, let's find out what's been going on in the early exchanges up at Anfield. Here's Talksport's Mark Wilson.
Yes, Liverpool 0, Southampton 0, but Southampton dominating here. Had the ball in the back of the net inside 30 seconds, but Sekou Mara was rightly flagged offside. Then Joe Aribo played in Kamaldeen Sulemani, tried to place it round Keller, hit the post, and then Sekou Mara took advantage of a slip edge of the 18-yard box, but he forced Keller into a fine save. All Southampton here, but it's Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
So goalless there. 2-1 to Chelsea, 1-0 to Wolves, and 3-0 to Celtic. Matt O'Reilly has scored their 3rd against Dundee. Forest bring it forward again. Alanga with a really good darting run inside the box, but eventually curtailed by Lindelof. And he's just smacked it into the Peter Taylor stand and out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Manchester United right-hand side. Took a deflection on its way out. 25 minutes gone. Tactically, Andy,
yep.
What have you made of the opening 25 minutes of the two approaches?
Again, I think that certainly in the opening exchanges, I thought United actually acquitted themselves really well. Could have been in front. Anthony very unlucky. McTominay, I think, should have done better with a free header from 7 yards out. But since then, Forest have actually started to get a grip of things, and I like the way that Divock Origi drifts infield and almost links up as a 2 with Awonyi, then comes back out into the wide area. They've got the natural width with Alanga, who, when they find him, looks a threat. Do you know the thing with Alanga, Jim? So we'll just see Bruno hit the floor, nothing given. Alanga, when he picks the ball up, he really goes for it. Anthony's got to do the same.
And he's got a chance to do so now. The Manchester United 21. Laying it back for McTominay. Anthony trying to come in off that right flank onto his favoured right foot. But just tapping it back with his left. And turned neatly by Casemiro through the midfield. Amrabat from that central area, working it down towards the left-hand side for Varane. Here's Garnacho, who's starting a 23rd successive game for Manchester United today. The booze for Bruno Fernandes. Forest fans ascertained that he went down very easily after the challenge from Danilo in that previous phase of play. Now out towards the United right-hand side for Anthony, and he's worked it back for Scott McTominay. We're 27 minutes in and it's still 0-0. Live across the UK on Talksport, live across North America. A good afternoon to everybody listening on Sirius XM-FC across the United States and Canada today. 0-0 here in the East Midlands, where the rain has abated. And Varane with a chance to bring the ball forward. Down towards Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho faced up by Origi. He's had a good start, but Garnacho got away from him easily, and Origi just pressed down with the palm of his left hand onto Garnacho's shoulder, forced him to the floor to give United a free kick.
Good play from Garnacho. Again, when that young man gets the ball, he always thinks, what can I do? Can I go past the guy that's in front of me? Can I create then something a little bit more for one of my teammates? And I like that about Garnacho. In the wide area, received the ball very quickly, dropped the shoulder, skips inside, gets fouled, gives Bruno a chance to whip a free kick into a dangerous area.
So Fernandes stands over it. He's 10 yards outside the box. It's left of centre, not a shooting position. It's an in-swinging delivery. It's far too close to Turner. Overhit that by about 15%.
Yeah, it's not a great free kick. Actually, it's an awkward angle. In fairness to Bruno there, it's a little bit too straight to put too much pace on it. Players won't be able to get on the end of it. But that was a loopy one, and the goalkeeper easily dealt with that.
Chance for Forest to bring the ball forward, but not a chance that they were able to take in the midfield. And United have won it back with McTominay. Fernandes stretching, couldn't bring it under control. Origi now running with pace and intent, and a rising drive goes into the United fans away to our right-hand side over the bar.
Unlucky. I like him, Divock Origi, in this position, Jim. I really do. He's been really lively. He's been positive. Again, Bruno there, just a bit sloppy. Didn't control the ball well enough. And as soon as Origi picks it up, he bursts past Amrabat. He knows he's got the better of him in a foot race. Anything shoulder to shoulder with United's makeshift left back, Origi fancies himself.
Yeah, he came on for the second half of the game at Villa at the weekend in this role as a right winger. It's one that he's reprising tonight against Sofian Amrabat. Amrabat, who played at left back in his first 3 Man United starts, but it's an experiment that hasn't really seen the light of day too often since then. But needs must, with Luke Shaw being out, Harry Maguire being out, meaning that Lindelof has to play in the middle alongside Varane, and so Amrabat's got the nod at left back again tonight. Played half an hour. Forest 0, Manchester United 0 the score. The Edinburgh derby at Tynecastle. Hibs have just taken the lead. That's going against the form book. Hearts 0, Hibs 1. Rangers trailing at Kilmarnock. Celtic 3 up at home to Dundee. So the lead of the Premiership might change tonight. Wolves and Chelsea going through at the moment in their respective FA Cup ties. This one is 0-0. Fernandes with a long crossfield ball that travelled a long way. But Anthony couldn't keep it in. Scampering after it on that far side. Just took him a while to read it by the time he did. And judged the spin correctly. He wasn't going to get there. Out of play. Throw that Toffolo will take. We're playing half an hour. It's good stuff, albeit that neither side have found the breakthrough, yeah?
Yeah, no, we haven't had that breakthrough. And I don't think either team absolutely deserves that yet. It has been pretty keenly contested. I think both teams have had their moments. Forest, I think, have been the better since that 10-15 minute mark.
Now Danilo's just hung a high ball forward. Amrabat just about able to deal with it. And then it's worked back for Onana, and he too just about able to deal with it. He was put under pressure by Divock Origi. Amrabat almost didn't get enough on it to get it back to the former Ajax and Inter Milan goalkeeper, but they survived it. United will be able to bring it forward now until Murillo steps up for the defensive line and just hacks that off the iron and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the United left. And don't forget, tomorrow morning here on Talksport, Alan Brazil, Ali McCoy's back together again from 6 a.m. Alan and Ali tomorrow. If you fancy something different on your morning commute, you can always check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show. That's from 6:30 on Virgin Radio, which you can listen to on DAB or by downloading the app. Ball over on the Manchester United rights, 0-0. What will the boys be reacting to tomorrow by way of FA Cup stories? Southampton, the better side at Anfield in the early stages. United have had a good spell here, but didn't make the most of the early chances, and Forest have come back into it again. Here's Diogo Dalot on the right-hand side of the box. It's a good ball in and a diving header from McTominay. Well saved by Turner at his near post. A really good United move. Perceptive passes inside the box. Dalot doing well. And McTominay again not picked up. A sharp little flick with the head. And Turner made a step across to his left-hand side and beat it away for a corner.
Yeah, good stop from Matt Turner. Important one. McTominay again right in the thick of things in the 6-yard box. A brilliant cross once more. A lovely play on the edge of the box from Diogo Dalot, who then runs wide, whips a lovely cross in, and McTominay goes close.
In comes the resulting corner, which was misjudged by the Forest back line. The overhead kick attempt that comes in from the edge of the penalty area from McTominay. It's gone way over the bar. I think Garnacho will be telling him at Carrington tomorrow. Look, let me show you.
Let me show you how to do that one, son. Calm down a bit.
Difficult chance. Very, very high tariff for McTominay. But hard to really ascertain exactly how this is going to transpire over the next hour. It's very easy to make a potential case for all three results here.
What I would say, we've seen more of Origi and Awoniyi than we have of Rashford. No one has really connected yet with Marcus Rashford, who's playing right up the middle for United. He's got Garnacho off the left and he's got Anthony off the right, and McTominay galloping to join in and try and help out.
That was clever from Anthony. He just ducked his head under the bouncing ball in midfield, drew a Forest player towards it, and McTominay could pick up possession. He now finds Garnacho, chesting it down inside the penalty area. Right-footed clip inside the box, headed away by Murillo. Further cleared by Yates, but then brought back down on the edge of the penalty area again by Casemiro until Garnacho and Amrabat can't exchange the passes they wanted, and it goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest ball. There hasn't really been the sharpness, the potency in front of goal that United would like for the chances they're created.
You're right. I think they've had a couple of good crosses. Dalot providing both of those for McTominay. Mentioned the Anthony set play at the start from that corner. His shot that hit the crossbar that Matt Turner was going to get nowhere near. Very unlucky that. That aside again, we're just seeing the odd little sort of glimmer, the odd little glimpse that you think United are just coming to the boil, and then it goes away, and then it doesn't quite happen at the top of the field. So it's up there at the minute that they've got to get better.
Now, possession is 60-40 in Manchester United's favour. The shot count 10-4 to Forest. Just a little bit of conjecture about whose throw this is. It's been given to Nottingham Forest. Marcus Rashford wasn't happy, stands with his hands outstretched. Williams takes the throw, and now Chris Kavanagh has just asked for a brief halt in proceedings because he's going to come over, I think at the advice of fourth official David Webb, and he's going to speak to Erik ten Hag. So there's going to be a yellow card brandished to the Dutchman for his arguments. No, not the case. It's vociferous discussion, nothing more than that.
Yeah. It's okay. Referee just felt he just needed to calm it down, so he has a walk from the centre of the field over to the technical area. It just reminds Ten Hag to just try and keep a lid on it. Nothing wrong with that. That's decent refereeing.
Chris Kavanagh, the referee tonight, back in action after the League Cup final at the weekend, which we brought you here on Talksport. Celtic 4, Dundee 0. 4 up in half an hour. Cool. With Maida scoring the latest of the goals. 4-0 they lead. And Rangers still trailing to that early Kilmarnock penalty at Rugby Park tonight. 9 to go to half-time in this. Throw taken up the right-hand touchline by Manchester United. Rashford chasing after it, but Murillo will be able to get it back to his goalkeeper. So let's go back round the ground, starting at Anfield. Here's Talksport's Mark Wilson.
Still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0, but Liverpool just had a couple of chances. We've just seen Lewis Koumas going down in the box under Jack Stevens' challenge. No penalty given, but from the resulting place, Southampton playing out from the back, got caught. Really good chance for Cody Gakpo, but couldn't get his shot away in time. Still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
And to Molineux, Adam Bridge.
Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Good spell of pressure for Brighton. Couple of chances. A Dingle shot over from just inside the penalty area, and Modder had a shot from the edge of the box that just went wide. Up the other end though, Igor's back pass was short. Bellegarde was in a race with Still. The keeper won it just. He took plenty of the player. They had a look, but no penalty. 5 minutes to go here. Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
And Chelsea 2, Leeds 1. Our half-time score now at Stamford Bridge. The second half of that will be live over on Talksport 2. This one 0-0 with Manchester United winning another free kick inside their own half. Anthony being helped back to his feet by Casemiro. And it's going to be a free kick that Casemiro himself will take. Now, United have reached the quarter-finals 8 times in the last 9 seasons, which is a pretty good record. Beaten in the final last season, of course. Actually haven't lost at this stage of the competition in round 5 since back in 2006. Peter Crouch, the last man to score a winning goal against Manchester United in the round of 16, the 5th round. That's 13 successive 5th round ties that they've won, including one against West Ham last season. Hoping to extend that record favourably tonight. Here's Varane. But for all the chances that Nottingham Forest have created, as I mentioned, they've had 10 attempts so far. Their XG, if you're somebody that subscribes to that particularly divisive statistical factor, is still less than 0.5, so the chances they've had have not been good ones at all. Here's Rashford. Coming towards the edge of the penalty area. Murillo stood firm, nothing more than that. Rashford trying to take it on past him. Murillo just stayed in the way. Rashford couldn't get out of the way, ran into him. The ball's gone out of play for a goal kick.
That's clumsy a bit from Murillo, that. No genuine appeal from Marcus Rashford, just a flap of his arms as he sort of gets upended, but Anthony picking the ball up in that wide right position again on his left foot. He's looking for Rashford on the edge of the box. Rashford arrives. Murillo steps out and is a little late in getting there. The referee just about gives him the benefit.
Yates has done well to recycle in the midfield here for Nico Williams. Back to Yates again. Felipe. 6 minutes to go to half-time at 0-0. Ball back to the blue-clad American goalkeeper Turner. And as he thrashes it forward, the offside flag is up against Taiwo Wanyi, who had just come back to influence the play from an offside position.
Yeah, neither midfield really dictating things. I think McTominay's been closest than anybody from that area of the field to making the difference. I think Forrest with Yates and Danilo workmanlike. Obviously Morgan Gibbs-White hasn't really got the ball at his feet yet, with a chance to pick a pass into a dangerous area or maybe have a shot himself. So it's pretty even Steven right in the middle of the park.
It isn't at Celtic. They lead Dundee 5-0 now. Greg Taylor has got the 5th. 5 up inside 36 minutes. And still Rangers trailing at Kilmarnock. The ball out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Manchester United right. A loopy throw in towards Bruno Fernandes. Back out to Dalot. Anthony unable to turn to get the ball away, but Manchester United do emerge with possession. Rashford with neat control, bringing it down on his solar plexus, slipping inside the area for Amrabat. Amrabat slightly behind square and behind Anthony as a result of that, and that made Ryan Yates' job all the easier to be able to get it away.
Yeah, he runs into a good area there, Amrabat. Marcus Rashford does well to find him nicely. I actually think Amrabat from this left back position should just support. Let Rashford have the space to potentially run in behind and produce something.
Now McTominay from the edge of the D, well blocked at source by Murillo. As a loose ball ricocheted towards halfway, Dalot turned it briskly back to his goalkeeper Onana. And Onana just passes it out towards Varane. Varane down to Amrabat. Such a sloppy ball from Amrabat. Garnacho kept it in, but he wasn't even back on his feet after sliding to keep that in before his arms were out to ask Amrabat if he just wouldn't mind caring to put a little bit more quality on the pass. He missed him by about 3 yards from 10 yards away. But Manchester United have still got it. No harm done with that. The ball is over on the far touchline, which is the United right. United in their white shirts and crimson shorts, bringing it forward but losing possession. And here's Gibbs-White on the gallop again. Wanyi, perhaps sensing he was offside, letting it run there for Elanga. Alanga on the left-hand side of the penalty area, so well to pull it back. Williams can control it. Williams can shoot. And he wasn't too far away. We were right behind that.
Yeah.
And he missed the top left-hand corner by maybe a yard, but it's a great shape on the shot. And had he crept in, I don't think Onana would have got there.
Absolutely right, Jim. Nice work that from Nico Williams from that right-back position. The ball was going down Forest's left. And all of a sudden he sensed if he just makes a run towards the edge of the box, there might be something there for him. Alanga it is who picks his head up, sweeps it back across the 18-yard box. Nice first touch, just takes him in the 18-yard box, just on the angle. And that lovely half volley is always rising, but nice strike.
So here's Amrabat bringing it forward for United. 3 to go to the break. I don't think there's going to be too much time added on. Garnacho. Felipe gets it away from him. Yates sliding it forward. Gibbs White's going to get there first. He's got Lindelof with him. He's done well, Gibbs White. Bending in inside the area. Alanga's first touch a little bit heavy. Took him down towards the byline. He's pulled it back for Awoniyi. And Awoniyi's almost put it onto the top tier of the Bridgeford stand away to our right-hand side.
Yeah.
It remains 0-0.
I'm just a bit concerned about my car, Jim. I think I parked it just in behind that stand. But that strike from Awoniyi there. Lovely run again. Good counter from Gibbs White. And Alanga, just that first touch, as you say, just got away from him, took him towards the byline. He cuts it back. And Awoniyi just bounces one off my bonnet.
And onto the wicket at Trent Bridge. Here's Varane. Oh, it's an easy game to play from here. You can criticise him. I'm in no position to do that. Here's Lindelof. And he gets to the edge of the centre circle.
Bit lucky yours, Jim, rather than mine, to be fair.
Well, yours is bigger and more of a target than mine. Here's Varane on halfway. 12 shots to 6 in Nottingham Forest's favour now, but it is Man United have had the better chances, notably that really well worked corner, the first set piece of the night where Anthony's cannoned one back off the bar. Fernandez, McTominay, who's probably had the best chance in open play with a header that was saved by Turner. He's had 2, one that was saved, the other tip round the post. We should have scored with the first. Here's Fernandez now, right-footed, trying to deftly shoot towards goal, and it was knocked away. Now Origi will try and lead the counter-attack from a deeper position. Forest have a player go down. Referee Cavanagh's played a really good advantage as it's sent out towards the Forest right-hand side here for Origi, who can control it. Level with the edge of the penalty area. And slips it round the side of the defender. Williams pulls it back. And Casemiro did well to get back and get himself into a position to clear. Fernandez now for United. Now McTominay. And as the first half draws towards its conclusion, it's really open. Both sides almost bypassing the midfield, getting the ball forward and attacking the opposition. Casemiro down towards the United left for Garnacho. Fourth official David Webb's got the numbers board in his hand. We'll find out in a moment how many extra minutes are going to be added. Back he goes from Amrabat. Casemiro riding forward onto it, and his rising drive just had Turner scampering for a moment, but by the time the ball left Casemiro's foot, Turner knew he was going to fly over the bar, and we go into one added minute with a score at 0-0.
Yeah, I've enjoyed the game. Decent bit of possession there for United. The shot from Casemiro again, never really worrying Matt Turner. But I think it bodes well for the second period, I do. I think we're going to have a pretty open game. We've just started to see it become a little stretched and a little bit more open. I think that works for United. I do. I think all the time it's one of those tight, tense, nervy ones. I'm not sure how much that suits them. They like it when they've got a bit more room to counter. And it may well develop that way in the second half. But again, Forest have had some good situations, particularly when the ball's come out of Divock Origi. I think it's been excellent.
Williams heading the ball forward. Couldn't find Origi. It's cleared by Varane. Varane playing alongside Lindelof, which is clarifying an earlier tactical point I made. It is very much a back four for Manchester United. They do have facets of play where they will try and go 2 or 3, but it is a back four. It's only the third time those two have played together at centre-half this season. They're one of 11 different centre-half partnerships that Manchester United have had, and they get the half-time with the clean sheet still intact, as indeed it is at the other end. Matt Turner making a couple of saves, one a pretty smart one to deny Scott McTominay header. He was powerless to do anything about Anthony's shot from a corner. that cannon back off the bar. That suggests United have had the better of it. A lot of the statistics will point the other way. It's very much in the balance. Half-time, Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Adrian?
Goalless at half-time on Talksport, then Forest and Man United. Talksport 2, second half getting underway. Chelsea 2, Leeds 1. Leeds were 1 up. Wolves 1, Brighton 0 is coming towards half-time. Still playing in the first half there. And here at Anfield, Southampton could have been 2-3 up, maybe even more. But it is still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0 after half an hour of this FA Cup fifth round tie. But as for Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0, let's take a look at the first half highlights with Carling.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
So 0-0, Andy Townsend, and both sides creating plenty of chances, but not many clear-cut good ones.
No, you're right, Ait. I think McTominay's header was probably the best situation. Another brilliant cross from Diogo Dalot, who's produced some great crosses from that right side in recent weeks. I thought that was a good chance. I mean, obviously Anthony very unlucky with his strike, with his left foot on the edge of the box in the opening moments from that really well-worked corner. But again, Forest responded nicely. I'm really enjoying Divock Origi's performance. I'm not sure, Aid, Amrabat in that left-back position where he wanders into midfield and then he's got to scamper back when Forest turn the ball over. I'm not sure he's comfortable up against Origi at all. I fancy the Forest man every time he gets the ball in those turnover situations. He gets one-on-one against Amrabat and he's got the better of him. But yeah, I think both coaches will have reasons to be pretty optimistic that their team can win it.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to sharpen up. Nico Williams up from right back, fired high and wide just before half-time. Then after that, Awoniyi, who's actually normally a good finisher, that's one of the worst finishes I've ever seen from him. It was, I mean, it was so far off target.
Yeah,
I can't make sense of it really. He seemed to snatch at it, which isn't like him.
Yeah, again, from a tight angle, Elanga rolled it back to him. He was on his left foot, never the strongest, I don't think, off that side. And from that sort of angle, it was asking a lot of Taiwo Awoniyi to really work Andre Onana, and he skied it, leant back, and it sailed handsomely over the top. But again, I think if either team, haven't seen a lot of Rashford. To be fair, he hasn't had a lot of service, but haven't seen much of him. They've got to try and get him involved a bit more. United at the top of the field, Garnacho again, just the odd little bit here and there. Those boys, I think, have got to do more up front. But for Forest, if they can keep staying in the game, keep beating Origi, just get the feeling tonight he might be the one that can make the difference.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about Marcus Rashford. There was a chance midway through the half, I think he fired over, centre of the goal.
Yeah.
It wasn't an easy chance, but I think it sums Rashford up, capable of a lot better. And I think his body language, his reaction to that chance going over just said everything. He's not quite right at the moment.
No, he's not. And I totally agree with you, Aid, about body language. I'm kind of looking at Marcus and I'm thinking, what is it? Is it something he needs to get off his chest? Is it something that he needs to, whatever he needs to do? It looks like he's kind of bottling everything up at the minute to me, Marcus Rashford. He looks frustrated. He cuts a figure that's kind of shoulders are down and he's not on his toes and he's second best. Now, when he's right, he is not the sort of guy any defender would want to face when he's running at you, Marcus Rashford, but he's easy to disappoint at the moment, and Felipe has had the better of him a few times, and at the moment the two centre-halves, Murillo and Felipe, not a problem. Rashford not doing anywhere near enough.
Well, it's 0-0. Second half to come live on Talksport, and it's half-time now at Molineux in the FA Cup fifth round. Talksport's Adam Bridge.
Wolves 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. It took just 80 seconds for the home side to get the lead here in this FA Cup fifth round tie, and it was all built down the left-hand side by one of the players coming into the starting 11 tonight. Belgardi raced away towards the byline, cut a ball back which still got his hands to, but he just patted it down, and Lemina fell to the ground with his first touch, but while on the floor managed to sweep the ball home with his outstretched right boot from the edge of the 6-yard box. Poor defending really, but clever work from Lemina for his first FA Cup goal. From that point on, it's all been about Brighton and their possession. Not too many clear-cut opportunities. A couple of shots from the edge of the box, one from Adingra and one from Modder that went over the crossbar. They should probably have scored from a corner. Gross out wide on the left-hand side, curling a right-footed one in, 2 yards out. Ansu Fati just had to get something on it, but couldn't quite bundle it home. home. And then probably the best chance, Estupinan on that left-hand side with a lovely cross, found Buonanotte about 8 yards out. He headed the ball downwards, but well wide of the right-hand post. Still had a scare up the other end after Eagles' poor back pass was almost intercepted by Bellegarde again. He got the ball, but he got plenty of the player. VAR not interested in that one, though. Exciting second half to come, you would think. Brighton should be level, but they're not at half-time. It's Wolves 1, Brighton Hove Albion 0.
Cheers, Adam. That was thanks to Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
The Emirates FA Cup halftime highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
And we're still in the first half here at Anfield, and we're still waiting for goals, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, we are. It's still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Southampton really did dominate the opening stage of this one. Sekou Mara inside 30 seconds had the ball in the back of the net, but he was rightly flagged offside. Then Sulemana hit the post, one well set. Sekou Mara forced a fine save out of Kelleher, and Rothwell wandered into the box unopposed, but curled his shot wide of the far post. At the other end, Gakpo missed a decent chance. Couldn't quite control it when close in on goal. We've seen Gakpo hit one straight at the keeper as well, and we've seen Joe Gomez yet to score in his career. I think he showed us why tonight. Hit one from 20 yards, about 20 yards high and wide. Interesting game because Liverpool are pushing really high, trying to catch Southampton in their own final third. Southampton have picked Liverpool off quite a few times, looked dangerous on the break, but Liverpool have just started to get more of the ball and they're getting it off Southampton out of the field, just not being able to turn it into any serious efforts on goal. Southampton, I think, will be really disappointed they're not in front here. 37 gone at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
Yeah, as a neutral observer, Mark, very quickly, you've described all those chances superbly. Southampton will be ruining missed chances. They could be 3-0 up here easily.
Well, they might be 1-0 up here because they're into the box with Sulemana, and again he opts to try and place the ball past Kelleher. He's seen off two defenders, Kamaldeen Sulemana, and on his right foot he's gone to pass it into the far post. Kelleher makes a comfortable save. That's two really good opportunities he's had now, and twice he hasn't really put any power on the shot.
Yep, they've held all the chances. Great build-up play. No finishing touch from Southampton. It's still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. A couple of goals in Scotland. Hearts have equalised in the Edinburgh derby. Who else but Lawrence Shankland, the Scottish Premiership's top scorer. That's his 19th of the season. It's from the penalty spot. And also a penalty at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1. Nicky Clark on the spot as Neil Warnock still searches for his first win as Aberdeen manager in the Scottish Premiership. And 6 minutes into first half added time, Celtic make it 6 against Dundee. The captain's done it, Callum McGregor. Celtic 6, Dundee 0. Dundee not doing too bad this season after promotion. Tony Docherty's side mid-table. Don't think many saw this coming. They've lost the last two away games. They're going to lose this one as well. Celtic 6, Dundee 0. And at half-time, Rangers are a goal down at Kilmarnock. If it all stays like that, Celtic will be top of the table come this evening. But in the FA Cup, live on Talksport, it is half-time at the City Ground. Forest 0, Manchester United 0.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. So here's something to bring some sunshine to your day. Right now, you can save £50 per person. Escape to the sun-soaked beaches of Turkey, Mallorca and Lanzarote with award-winning VIP customer service. Don't miss out. Book now with just a £60 deposit per person. Jet2 Holidays. Package holidays you can trust. Abtra protected. Subject to availability and conditions.
Mother's Day, and an army of moon pigs were trotting forth. This little moon pig just wanted a cuddle, and this caring little moon pig made Mum go wah, wah, wah all day long. For this Mother's Day, it must be a moonpig.com. Download the app now.
With UK Export Finance, I'm fulfilling more export orders from around the world with working capital support.
Export insurance means I'll get paid when exporting to challenging markets.
At UK Export Finance, we believe no viable UK export should fail for lack of finance or insurance. Between 2022 and 2023, we provided £6.5 billion of government-backed trade finance to support UK exports. Learn how we could help you win export contracts, fulfill orders, and get paid. Search UK Export Finance today.
Whether it's a better seat, a bigger room, or a free cake with your coffee, we all love an unexpected upgrade, especially if you don't have to ask. With the Hyundai Tucson Hybrid Upgrade event, you get a complimentary upgrade to premium trim when you buy before the 31st of March. Plus, you get £1,750 towards your deposit and 6.9% APR representative. The Tucson Hybrid Upgrade event. It's the dawn of a new Hyundai. Trim upgrade available for SE Connect Premium. Finance subject to status. Hyundai UK is a credit broker, not a lender. Terms apply.
You alright, mate?
Oh, no, my boiler's knackered. Do you know any plumbers?
Yeah, I do, yeah. You know Danny? Well, he lives next door to this woman who's engaged to this lady who went to school with a bloke called Gary.
Alright. Is he a plumber?
No, he's not, no. But he knows a bloke who walks a dog with this woman. Debbie, I think she's called. Well, she gets her hair cut with Sam.
Don't worry. You already know somebody who fixes boilers. British Gas. And you don't even have to be one of our customers. Our engineers are local, and their work is guaranteed for 12 months. Search British Gas Boiler Repairs.
So, is he a plumber? Well, technically, no. But he's got a van.
Did you know that Sky Mobile has 99% network coverage? That means...
Dads, like me.
Commuters like me.
And farmers like...
Yep, they all get 99% network coverage on Sky Mobile. Hello, Possible.
4G outdoor network available to 99% of UK population.
There are all sorts of fans who make racing what it is. The armchair expert who knows it all, right down to what the horse had for breakfast. The country gents head to toe in tweed, and the ladies with their extravagant hats. The banana-suited stag-do lads, and the nan who just backed the horse because it has a funny name. Whatever kind of racing fan you are, don't miss the Coral Daily Download every morning from 6 on the Superstar Breakfast on Talksport with Coral. We're here for it. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
The Emirates FA Cup live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup and Adobe Women's FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly.
Join the Football Collective. Kick-off FA Cup special
on Talksport.
Big FA Cup night on the Talksport network, and coming up on Talksport, the second half of Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
So it's goalless, Forest 9-4 to win it. Manchester United 6-4. The draw in 90 minutes, 33-20. Elsewhere in the FA Cup, it's Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Wolves are 7-4 on to win. Brighton are 11-2. The draw in 90 minutes, 12-5. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Well, we've just had a goal here at Anfield. We said Southampton had drew those missed chances, and now they're behind. Mark Wilson.
It's Liverpool 1, Southampton 0, and what a moment for young Lewis Koumas. He's got the opening goal here. He was played into the action by a fellow youngster, Bobby Clark. He moved into the area, he's pulled the trigger, and it's nestled into the bottom corner. Fantastic moment. His first senior start for Liverpool, and his first goal for the Reds as well. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
Well, if you recognise the name, any wonder is the son of Jason Koumas, who played in Tranmere's fifth-round win over Saints in 2001. An incredible game. They were 3-0 down at half-time. Tranmere ended up winning it 4-3. They were an EFL side. Saints were in the top flight at the time. Paul Rideout with a hat-trick. Of course, he had previously won the FA Cup with Everton. Jason Koumas played a big part in that game. His son Lewis started at Tranmere. Liverpool more or less kind of nicked him off them for a cheap price, and now he's in the first team. But I think this is a contrast, Mark Wilson, to his last appearance in a Liverpool shirt, right?
Yeah, sent off in the EFL Trophy at Bradford back in December. So yeah, from villain to hero. His shot got a slight touch of a defender on the way through, but a great moment. Jurgen Klopp celebrated. He could be in again here, Koumas. He chooses to feed it through, and there was a chance there for Gakpo, who just pulls it across the face of goal. But that really has sparked Liverpool into life here. We're into 1 minute added on time at the end of the first half. It's Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
So Liverpool take the lead here when they should easily have been 2-3, maybe even 4 down to Southampton, and there'll be words in that Southampton dressing room at half-time. Teams out for the second half of the City Ground. Goalless there, second half with Andy Townsend and Jim Proudfoot.
Adrian, thank you. There are no changes at the start of this second half in terms of personnel. Chris Kavanagh, the referee, just waiting for the signal to get the game back underway. Forrest Turner in goal, Williams, Felipe Murillo and Topolo, Yates and Danilo, Origi, Gibbs, White, Ilanga and Awonyi, and they get the second half underway. Red shirts white shorts, attacking the Trent end away to our left-hand side. United white shirts and dark red shorts, and Nana in goal, Dalot, Varane, Lindelof and Amrabat, McTominay and Casemiro, Anthony, Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho, and Marcus Rashford up front. Anthony's come closer than anyone else to scoring. He hit the bar, but it is still 0-0 with Scott McTominay in possession in the midfield. Into the feet of Casemiro. 2 games between these two in the league this season. Very keenly fought, well contested. Forest led 2-0 after 4 minutes at Old Trafford and lost. And when the two sides met here at the City Ground back over Christmas, Forest won that by 2-1. But still waiting for the breakthrough here, Andy Townsend. 0-0.
Yeah, 0-0. I was wondering at half-time whether or not Ten Hag just might adjust that position of Amrabat as the left back, who didn't look comfortable up against Divock Origi. Decided to stay with it, keep it going, and we'll see whether or not Forest can profit from that. United just need to get the front three involved in the game a little bit more, and they've got to combine better. It's all a bit individual when it goes up to the top of the field for United. They're capable, of course they are, but I would like to see them try and combine and as 3 really talented boys just really try and put Forest under more pressure.
Varane heads the ball away, and it'll be brought down on the left-hand side of the midfield by Danilo. Anthony Elanga, he's got away from the challenge with ease. Little shove from Anthony Elanga, then going towards the byline, couldn't keep it in, but he just danced away from Casemiro.
Yeah, because Casemiro can't go shoulder to shoulder with anybody. I'm afraid that is a fact. That's why he gets yellow cards. That's why he commits to challenges. He dives in. So Elanga's doing the right thing. You see Casemiro in front of you, you run at him and just have to push it past him, and he'll either foul you or let you go. And in this situation, he steps out of the 18-yard box, Casemiro, cleverly, and just forces Elanga a little wider, and it eventually goes out for a goal kick.
He's had 7 yellows and a red this season, Casemiro, in 18 games, including 5 yellow cards in his last 7 appearances. He's the one man in the Manchester United starting lineup tonight who's a yellow card away from a suspension. He would miss that quarter-final with either Liverpool or Southampton if he's booked tonight. Incidentally, that game is now half-time at Anfield. Lewis Koumas with the goal. Southampton on top, but behind to Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. 1-0, Lewis Koumas on 44 minutes at the break. It's now Chelsea 2, Leeds 2. Mateo Joseph hadn't scored a senior goal in his career before tonight. He's now got 2, and it's 2-2 at Stamford Bridge over on Talksport 2. Here's Marcus Rashford for Manchester United, and he's left it for Anthony Garnacho, making a darting run past him, but he couldn't beat Murillo on the edge of the penalty area, and Nico Williams is going to be able to turn it away. You're with Talksport and also Sirius XM FC across North America. It's 0-0. Forest on the front foot. Here's a chance. Good save by Onana. Awonyi with a left-footed effort. And Onana diving 3 yards off his line. Just got a left hand to it. Took the sting out of it. And United swept it away in front of them.
Yeah, really dangerous there, Forest. Diogo Dalot goes with the run of Taiwo Awonyi, and it very quickly becomes 2v2. Elanga and Awonyi against Lindelof and Dalot, and in the end Elanga just wriggles out of a challenge, rolls it right into the path of Awonyi on his left foot from about 16-17 yards out, hits it well. Andre Onana makes a good stop.
6 goals for him this season. One of those came at Manchester United back in August. The ball clipped inside the penalty area. Dalot needed to deal with it, and he swoops it away from Elanga in the far post area and out for another corner, which is Forest's first of the second half, their 5th of the game.
Yeah, right thing to do there, Diogo Dalot. Take no risk, no chances. Game's too tight, too much at stake. So he knocks it out for another corner, and United shape to defend it once more.
Well, most of the corners that have been taken so far have come from the Forest right. So they've been Gibbs White outswingers. This one's going to be an in-swinger from the left. Felipe, Yates, Murillo, Awonyi and Origi all standing within about 3 yards of each other near the penalty spot. And now they will make differing runs of varying trajectories inside the penalty area. It's an in-swinging delivery. Anana hurriedly but effectively punches it clear, double fists it away. Down towards Gibbs White again, low cross, blocked by Bruno Fernandes. And the loose ball ricochets towards the centre circle where it's mopped up by Williams.
Yeah, good work from Anana there. Another dangerous ball in. He's got real good shape on those deliveries, Morgan Gibbs White. Andre Anana stepping out into the traffic, gets his fists on that and deals with it really well.
Varane can clear. Down towards the far touchline where it's gone out of play for a throw that's been won by Ryan Yates. You're listening to Forest against Manchester United in the FA Cup. It's live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Divock Origi for Forest, down by the corner flag. It's got Williams in support for him. It's laid back now towards Gibbs White. Good touch from Awoniyi on the edge of the area. Origi doing well. Origi onto his left foot. And again, Anana almost down on his knees. Got the fist behind it. Punched it away. Yates recycles it out on the touchline. Nico Williams has got it now. He's faced up by Amrabat. Back from him to Yates. Yates near the bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. Good start in the second half here from Nuno's Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, really good work from Origi there. Tightly marked, with his back to goal, wriggled out of that and got a stinging shot away that Anana, as you say, Jim, had to crouch down and make sure he just beats that away. But excellent work from Origi.
Clearly he's got an illustrious past, Divock Origi, from his time with Liverpool and scored in the Champions League final. And he's really been blighted by injuries, but it felt when he signed for Forest on loan, his career was at something of a crossroads, really. Struggled for match time out in Italy. Hadn't been scoring the goals with any regularity. And although this is only his fourth start of the campaign, and not too many of those have come in the league, he's had a real sharpness to him tonight in this wider position off the right. Plays should stop for a moment. It's coming together in the midfield between Yates and Fernandes. And the free kick has been given against the Manchester United captain. Taken by Murillo. Forward through the midfield, he got it straight back again, and then as he worked it out towards Toffolo, he put it out for a throw. And that's going to be taken on the Manchester United right. 7 gone, 0-0 between Forest and Manchester United. Still in the early stages of the second half here on Talksport. And elsewhere, Chelsea 2 leads 2 over on Talksport 2. Wolves 1, Brighton 0, 4 minutes into the second half at Molineux. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. Rashford's ended up on the deck. He felt that Murillo put him there. Murillo with the clearance that hit Toffolo and ricocheted back towards his own goalkeeper. And Turner realising that he's at liberty to pick that up because of the unorthodox way in which the ball had got there in the first place, as it just cannoned back off the centre half. There was no intent in the back pass. Now Murillo driving it forward with that sweet left foot that had so many people watching him in his native Brazil. Lindelof getting it back for Anana at the other end. And United at the moment, there's a sense that they're just having to ride a storm a little bit.
Yep, they have since the start. Forest again have been the better, the more progressive. Again, I think the more Forest get the ball out to Origi quickly. Don't delay, don't allow United to recover and flood men back behind the ball. If they can find those forward players, Gibbs White or Origi, early, and I think that's when they'll be in business. I really do.
Well, that's Andy Townsend, the former Republic of Ireland captain, here alongside me, Jim Proudfoot, at the City Ground tonight. 0-0 coming up after us, whatever time this game concludes. Remember, it could go to extra time, penalties if necessary as well, as Fernandes is fouled on halfway by Yates. The Sports Bar will be here. Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders here to take your calls tonight. You can also voice note the show through WhatsApp. All you got to do, save the number, the normal number, 03717223344. Send us a voice note in the WhatsApp app. The boys on the Sports Bar want to hear your voice note. If you're in the car on the way home from a game or in the pub with your mates, get in touch. And the best of them will be dissected and discussed on air along with your reaction tonight. We'll have reaction from all around the country from this evening's headline makers as part of the Sports Bar. Jamie O'Hara and Dean Saunders tonight on Talksport.
Yeah, well, nothing happened from that free kick. Bruno Fernandes is about 45 yards out in the middle of the field. He tries to just ping one out to Rafa Varane, who peels off towards the far post. Varane makes contact with the head, but it just sails out for a goal kick, and it's that area of United's game so far that is letting them down. They looked like they were really going to stitch it together at the start of the evening, but apart from that initial 10 minutes at the start of the game, they've been really poor in the final third.
Harry Toffolo's been caught, and it's a free kick to Forest. So what does Ten Hag need to do then? Having seen the way that the second half is developing, how does he change it?
Well, again, look, while the game is very tight, Jim, you don't expect changes out of nothing. I wouldn't expect Ten Hag to move too much in that respect just yet. But certainly he'll need a bit more. I mentioned with Adrian prior to kick-off, Jim, that they don't control games, United. They don't dictate tempos of matches. You never get the feeling that they're right on top, they're bossing things and a goal is going to happen. Something's going to come for them. It's always out of nothing, United. A couple of clever passes, someone gets wide, a good cross, and someone gets in the box.
Forest trying to do exactly that here, using the full length of the pitch. And those in the Trent end were convinced that as it was hooked inside the box by Awonyi, took a last touch off a Manchester United player. But a goal kick has been given. The assistant referee on the far side, Akil Housen, indicating a goal kick rather than the corner that those in the Trent end were anticipating. 11 gone in the second half and it's still 0-0. As Lindelof brings it forward from the back into the feet of Casemiro, who didn't really want it and just passed it straight back to him. Now out towards the left-hand side for Rafa Varane. Varane, who won the Copa del Rey with Real Madrid, but only the once in his long time there. It was some 10 years ago. Down towards Dalot. Dalot into the feet of Anthony, a former Dutch Cup winner in his days with Ajax. Dalot finding Onana, who similarly won the Dutch version of this competition back in 2019. Now down towards Casemiro. Casemiro coming over halfway. Rashford had wanted an early ball, but Casemiro didn't fancy his chances of picking him out. So it's a slightly more conservative build-up here from Manchester United, but they've gone out to the left now for, as the booze will tell you, Bruno Fernandes. He's found Casemiro in a central position to Anthony towards the edge of the D. Anthony straight down the throat of the goalkeeper with a 22-yard shot. Turner didn't have to move a muscle to make a save.
No, but I don't mind that. That's all right. Anthony receiving a ball kind of back to goal, and then with his left foot runs along the edge of the 18-yard box, and others around him hits the shot straight at the goalie.
And now United will come again with Rashford. He's gone down inside the box, sandwiched between Murillo and Felipe. He stays down, face down in the turf, and the referee says, get on with it, play on. And Forest are more than happy to do that. And Erik ten Hag stands on the edge of the technical area with his right hand out, publicly asking the question as to why no penalty has been given, but obviously the VAR will be looking at it.
Yeah, they'll be looking at it, all right. They'll have to check that one. I wasn't totally convinced initially. Rashford it was who burst into the box. They've put the ball out, United now, and now we will get a decision on that.
Well, VAR tonight is Michael Salisbury. Rashford trying to get back to his feet. He's actually gone down, is he holding his rib cage? He's just off balance. He had one centre-half coming from his left. I think it's Felipe from that side and Murillo from the other. We're seeing a replay of it now, Andy. He's just made the ground inside the box, and the two centre-halves converged and blocked him off.
Yeah, they actually sort of, between the two of them, they closed the door completely on Marcus Rashford. I don't think it's a penalty. However, Rashford clearly feels he was impeded. I honestly don't feel that one is a penalty. I think actually the two defenders there have just closed that door. And Murillo a little heavy-handed, pushes him into Felipe a little bit, but I just don't think it's enough, Jim, to give a penalty.
And he's come down actually, which bears no relevance to the award of the penalty or not, but to the ensuing injury. He's fallen on his side onto the boot of Felipe.
Which can hurt. That can hurt.
So that is why he was in some distress.
Yeah.
It would have been a very heavy landing as he's come down onto the rising foot of Felipe. There's certainly no intent there. Strong arm defending, I think it's fair to say, from Murillo, but the officials were absolutely adamant it wasn't a penalty. Rashford's received treatment. and is coming over to this near side. Before play resumes, let's get updates from elsewhere. Starting at Molineux, Wolves against Brighton, Adam.
10 minutes into the second half, still Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Worrying signs here, though, for Wolves. Swang, who's been fairly ineffective tonight. Looks like he's hurt his left hamstring. He's gone off to be replaced by Neto. Sarabia's on as well. Brighton controlling the game. They brought Danny Welbeck on at half-time, but no significant opportunities at the start of this second half. It's still Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
And a reminder, if you missed the draw earlier, the winners of that are at home to Coventry. Winners of this one at home to Liverpool or Southampton. Liverpool leading that 1-0 at half-time. Chelsea 2, Leeds 2. Live here now over on Talksport 2. They're in the final 20 minutes of that, and they will host Leicester, the winners of that one. And the other tie in the quarterfinals will be Manchester City against Newcastle United. We played an hour of this. Rashford off the field just for a moment, having received his treatment. It's the mandatory 30 seconds before he's going to be allowed back on. And he comes on now. And boos for him as he comes back on. I think he may, have you seen the replay? I don't think he made the most of it.
No.
But similarly, I don't think it was a penalty.
He was trying to dart into the box, and those two defenders, they like a pincer movement, they like really closed in on him and just shut that door completely. And as you say, Jim, he fell on a boot, and that can hurt.
Nana plays it forward. Bruno Fernandes fouls Williams. And it's a free kick 20 yards inside the Nottingham Forest half, which Forest will take. They come into this on the back of only 1 win in 8. Only 5 wins in 26, which is a worrying statistic, bearing in mind that we're still waiting to hear exactly what the points deduction is going to be. Manchester United, conversely, 5 wins in 6 coming into this, but on the back of that home defeat to Fulham at the weekend. Now in Scotland, Celtic 6 up against Dundee with 6 different scorers. The Rangers have turned it around with 2 goals in 4 minutes in Ayrshire. Now James Tavernier with the first of them, his 20th goal of the season, and they've just gone 2-1 up. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2. So the results stay as they are, although Celtic will have eaten into the goal difference advantage that Rangers have had. There'll still be a 2-point Rangers lead at the top. Anthony spinning the ball down towards Diogo Dalot here. Dalot running towards the edge of the penalty area. Laying it back towards Anthony again. Past Elanga for Bruno Fernandes. Clever little 1-2 between the pair of them. Fernandes chopping it onto his right foot. Scooping one with the top of his foot, with the outside, to try and get it to curl in towards the top left-hand corner. And Turner scrambling for a moment. Grateful to see that one clear his bar.
That's unlucky. That's great ability and awareness from Bruno Fernandes. He's only been on the edges of the game really tonight. He hasn't really got involved. But there, 25 yards out, he takes a nice touch, a lovely little give and go. He's in the box, closely guarded by a load of red shirts around him. Shifts it onto his right foot, hits it with the outside of his boot. It's only a yard over the top. There's a nice effort.
Now it's Tom Lawrence, incidentally, that's got that goal that's given Rangers the lead at Rugby Park. And Garnacho will bring it forward here for Manchester United. Both sides trying to garner the first advantage of the night here at the City Ground. 63 minutes in at 0-0. And more live football coming up for you over the course of the weekend with the Championship to the fore. West Brom against Coventry Friday night over on Talksport 2, kicking off at 8, the first game of the new era at the Baggies after the takeover was completed today. Saturday, the Yorkshire Derby of some repute, Huddersfield Leeds, 12:30 here on Talksport. Monday night, Sheffield United against Arsenal, a match of real importance at both ends of the table. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport. And also Talksport 2 Saturday afternoon, Spurs against Palace is our exclusive game. It's not on UK TV, but it's live on Talksport 2 with Ian Dada from 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So that's what's coming up, the here and now. 26 minutes for these two. Try and win it in the regulation time. The vital cut out by Toffolo, who did well, and then was beaten the second time of asking by Anthony. McTominay trying to take it on his side of the penalty area was very well watched by the retreating Yates. And Turner could come out and do the rest and make a save.
Yeah, just a chance there, wasn't there, for United to produce one of those famous counters. Switch out from Casemiro out to Anthony. And just finds Scott McTominay, but the ball up around his chest and it ends up just bobbling through to Matt Turner.
Ball coming off Toffolo. Played away through the midfield by Casemiro. Yates is on the end of it. Well, one back by Dalot. Dalot to Varane. Forest have only had one quarter-final since 1996. That was when they lost to Liverpool. Can they set up another tie against Liverpool in the quarter-finals? That's the prize, potentially, although Southampton will still have something to say about that in the second half at Anfield. 1-0 to Liverpool. 5 minutes into the second period of that one. Here's Sofiane Amrabat. Back towards Casemiro. It's 10 yards outside the box. Amrabat a little bit deeper, but can switch a brisk ball out towards the left-hand side for Rashford. Now Bruno Fernandes chopping it one way, then onto his left, inside the penalty area, Garnacho. Garnacho pulling it back, and Fernandes with an effort that's deflected wide off McTominay, I think. His wrong-footed turner, but gone the wrong side of the post.
Yeah, good play from United that. They've got Forest stretched and scrambling a little bit defensively. Garnacho gets right to the byline, cuts it back to Bruno, big side foot, going for the near post. And unfortunately, Scott McTominay, who's kind of gone in there gambling, looking for something that might come back off the goalkeeper. The ball inadvertently hits him and goes out for a goal kick. Just the last few minutes, United have been a bit better. Finally got up to speed in the second half, and they've just pegged Forest back a bit. We've seen a little of a Wanye, Gibbs White, and particularly Origi in the last 10 minutes.
Toffolo to Gibbs White, now to Elanga, who stops the ball and moves away from it so that Gibbs White can play the pass. Yates out of the right hand side for Nico Williams. We're midway through the second half. They're still don't know who's going to be going through, no closer to knowing. Back he goes for Murillo, and he'll take it on his left foot towards halfway. Toffolo making his way forward. Murillo just clipping it, but too long for the run from Williams. Forest just mixing up a little bit. They haven't really played that pass too frequently through the game, just from the centre half condensing the play for the run of the fullback in behind the two Manchester United centre halves, but it was too much on the pass. United will get it forward quickly and will come forward here with Dalot. 0-0 the score midway through the second half on Talksport and across North America on Sirius XM FC. Given away by Anthony. He's passed it straight to Yates on the edge of the D. He'll get it out towards Elanga. And Elanga coming forward into Manchester United territory, slipping it into the path of Wanye, who's got plenty to do because he's got three white shirts around him. And the offside flag, belatedly, but I believe correctly, is shown by Akil Housen against Taiwo Awoniyi.
He's just gone a little too soon there, Taiwo Awoniyi. And that move just breaks down a little bit, which is the way it's kind of gone for Forest last 10 minutes. They've gone a bit flat. I think it is time for a change. I think both coaches now, we're in that period as we're approaching 70 minutes, when you start to look to the bench, you start to look at individuals and think, which one of you tonight can make the difference for me? I think certainly United, they don't have quite so many in the forward areas. I mean, they've got young Forson, obviously, who can come on. Forest have got the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi, they've got Dominguez, they've got people like that. But I would think now both coaches are looking at the bench and thinking, how can I just maybe add something from the bench? What can make the difference for me?
Much from a Forest perspective might depend on how long they think they can get out of Origi, but bearing in mind how few games he's started and the injury problems that he's had. Here are United with Dalot trying to dance through inside the penalty area. Murillo again just stood a red brick wall on the edge of that Nottingham Forest penalty area that couldn't be surpassed. Free kick goes Forest's way.
If I'm being a little critical of both teams at the top of the field at the moment, like everything's got to be perfect. You know, this competition has always been about putting the ball in the box, and in those big moments, dramatic moments, goals scored where someone launches themselves, throws themselves, gambles to get on the end of something. I think both teams at the minute are looking for that perfect little threaded ball to find someone with the right opportunity. It isn't always about that.
Toffolo's kept Turner clearance in on the left-hand touchline, getting it forward towards halfway. He's only passed it straight at Dalot. But the clearer opportunities of the game certainly came in the first half. But Amrabat will find Garnacho now. down towards the left-hand corner flag. He's done well to put the pressure on Nico Williams. He's been forced to concede a corner, and that's the first that United have won since half-time.
It's a good battle that between Nico Williams and Garnacho, because the Forest fullback is a game lad, and he's quick, and he's getting out to try and deny Garnacho as quick as he can. Corner off this side with Bruno.
So it's going to be an in-swinger from the Manchester United left, the far touchline. Varane making his way in towards the near post. They've actually worked it short. Now it's an in-swinger from Garnacho, and Murillo heads it away. Lindelof cushions the header back down for the shaven-headed Amrabat. Dalot works it through the midfield. Now a right-footed effort from distance. Just bounces conveniently into the midriff of Turner. A well-struck shot, certainly on target, but didn't really have too much more on it than that. Now Turner's going to be able to bowl it out quickly now for Murillo, and Murillo will look to get it forward quickly. Bruno Fernandes still cutting a dejected figure after a shot on target that didn't trouble the goalkeeper. 21 shots we had in the first half in the end. We've only had 7 in the 25 minutes of the second half so far. So it's just all clogged up a bit, really. Now United, good step over, another shot from Bruno, and again, all he can do is hang his head in frustration as he just scuffs it through for Turner.
Big chance, this one. Nice work from Anthony, rolls it to Bruno. 19 yards out, right in the middle of the goal. On his right foot. Now walk onto that, either head down and really go for it, or if you're going to go side foot, you're looking for a corner, you're looking for preferably a top corner. And he doesn't make any sort of contact, and it rolls harmlessly into Matt Turner's hands. And it looks like, Jim, we're going to get some changes.
Well, United are going to be bringing Ahmad on. Another player that's hardly seen the light of day recently. Ahmad, whose last Manchester United start was back in 2021. He played 35 minutes here over Christmas, but it's one of only 2 games that he's played for United this season. And he's going to come on to replace Anthony. Anthony, who hit the bar in the early stages, but he's serenaded to a chorus of what a waste of money as he leaves the field. Is Ahmad going to be the answer to try and bring something more out of Marcus Rashford, because we just haven't been able to get Rashford into the game, Andy?
No, not been able to get much out of him. Anthony's real dejected figure as he comes off the field. Just can't seem to get beyond anybody. Do you know what? I'd even give him 10 or 15 minutes on the left-hand side, Anthony. At least you're encouraging him to go outside and try and produce a cross or two, but his game is just too predictable at the moment, and he's easily defended and dealt with.
Toffolo has finished receiving his treatment. He's come off towards this near side. He's going to be able to continue. Motherwell have equalised at Livingston through Sam Nicholson. Celtic 7, Dundee 0. 7 different scorers in that game. Daniel Kelly has got the latest. They lead Dundee 7-0, but Rangers 2-1 up at Kilmarnock. So the status quo is going to be maintained, certainly in terms of the points difference between the two. Rangers a couple of points clear at the top. This one's 0-0, 17 minutes to go, but there's going to be more stoppage time at the end of the second half than there was at the end of the first. We'll be back round the grounds in a moment, but first of all, as Toffolo comes back on, a throw that will be taken on the Nottingham Forest right-hand side. It's not too far adrift of the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. And this game now has a feeling that first goal might win it.
Yeah.
Awonyi out towards the right-hand side. Flicked inside the penalty area where it should be easily defended and put over the line for a goal kick. And it is shepherded well. That's good defending. So we'll go back to Anfield. Here's Talksport's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, still Liverpool 1 at Southampton 0. The goal from Lewis Koumas, the 18-year-old debutant, just at the end of the first half. Second half has started very well for Southampton. They've had plenty of ball down that right side. Edozi's put a couple of good balls into the box. Nobody there to finish them. They have brought on Adam Armstrong to replace Suleiman, and Van Dijk went off at the break for Konate, but we think he's okay. He's sat on the bench. We've had 13 second half. It's Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
Forest able to get the ball away. United launching a quick counter-attack that ended up coming to nothing. There will be a throw that United will take. We'll very quickly go to Molineux. Adam Bridge.
minutes remaining here. Since Neto's come on, Wolves have looked far more of a threat from inside his own half. He waltzed past Dunk as though he wasn't even there, but it was good work by Igor inside the penalty area that denied him what would have been Wolves' second goal and surely the winning goal in this game. It's Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
So Wolves 19 minutes away from going through. The Chelsea in Leeds 4 minutes away from going to extra time. That's still 2-2 in that game. Now, players stopped here because there was a handball shout against Felipe from a low skidding Garnacho cross. Felipe sliding in, the ball hit his arm. VAR had quite a long look at it, but I think correctly said no case to answer.
Well, if there's a penalty given for that, Jim, I think it's time to turn the lights off and all go home, because that would have been absolutely absurd. But it had to be checked. Thankfully, the right call was made.
Amrabat to Ahmad to McTominay as United bring it forward again. 15 to go. Amrabat sending one out of the left-hand side of the penalty area. Slightly awkward control from Garnacho, but he did well to get it under control in the end. Right-footed effort, and Rashford didn't really get hold of it. Ahmad, I beg your pardon, didn't get hold of it inside the penalty area. He had a defender right in front of him and took the sting out of it. And Forest will be able to bring it forward quickly. They're going to be making a change at the next break in play with Callum Hudson-Odoi preparing to come on. Yates works the ball back for Murillo. Now towards Felipe. 14 to go in normal time.
They've been a little tame, Forest, I think, second half. I think they're just staying in the game at the moment. And really, there's an opportunity here to have a proper go at this. And you might get caught. I understand that, but I think the way it's going, I'd like to see Forest just being a little braver, committing more people forward. It's better.
There's a Wonyi. Critical playing from Andy. Elanga taking it on, is then fouled. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken about 6 or 7 yards outside the penalty area by Forest on the left-hand side. Victor Lindelof coming across and making sure that there was no way through for Anthony Elanga. And Lindelof is the first player to have his name taken tonight.
Yep, good run actually that from Elanga. From about a yard or two inside his own half. What he has done, when he's had the ball to feet tonight, Anthony Elanga, he's immediately head down and sprinting at his opposite number, trying to get beyond them. And that little run has just lifted the Forest fans a bit, and they're trying to pick their team up.
Well, Hudson-Odoi still waiting to come on. They're going to take this free kick first. And it's Morgan Gibbs-White that stands over it. United with a line of 10 outfield players strung almost the full width of the penalty area and standing about 2 yards outside that box. Gibbs-White takes it, clipped into the far post area, header back across the face of the box is cleared by Amrabat, comes out towards Williams, put under immediate pressure from Rashford. He takes a circuitous route out towards the touchline, but then finds Murillo. Murillo packing a shot with a left-footed effort, which Onana could save diving away to his right-hand side. Just had to make sure that the handling was clean, because if anything had bounced off in there, Awonyi was going to be in a position to score. Another shot on target from Forest. Another one that doesn't beat the goalkeeper, and it remains 0-0. Now United will bring it forward at the other end. Garnacho, left-hand side of the box, checking back, looking for Rashford. It's cleared by Yates, and out of play for a throw.
As we approach 78 minutes, both teams are just looking to create something, to get somebody free in a box where they can just take a touch, pick their head up and hit the target properly. We just haven't had that so far, second half.
Well, a big ovation here for Divock Origi. Excellent first 45 minutes. Faded a little bit in the second half, Andy, to be expected, but yes, he made an impact.
Tell you what, I really enjoyed his performance in the first half. Thought he was excellent, used it well, was a threat, prepared to run and really sprint behind Amrabat. Has gone out the game, as the team have gone out the game a little bit, I feel, in this second period. They've lost that. When Forest are at their best, they're foot to the floor and they're really committed and going at their opponent. And as I said, they've just been a little safe and conservative, I feel, and I think they've got to be careful if they do that. They're not quite as effective.
Callum Hudson-Odoi's come on to replace him. Hudson-Odoi played in a couple of FA Cup finals back in his Chelsea days. He has scored in each of his last 2 appearances here at the City Ground. He's come on tonight. Big applause for Origi as he makes his way round the touchline. Manchester United have a corner. Chelsea have the lead late on at home to Leeds. 3-2 Conor Gallagher in stoppage time. Live on Talksport 2, the conclusion of that. Chelsea 3, Leeds 2. Amrabat from that corner hooks it awkwardly back towards his own goalkeeper, and Nana up near the edge of the centre circle having to play that, and it was such an indifferent ball from Amrabat back inside his own half. He hooked it forward. There were cries, very optimistic cries of shoot as the ball went through towards Turner with Onana still a long way out, but that was never going to happen. Forest bring it forward here. Toffolo's done well. Into the feet of Awoniyi. He had no room to work. Toffolo can sweep a left-footed ball in. Williams coming towards it, threw himself at it and couldn't get the touch to head the ball in. If it was Gibbs-White who was the furthest forward, and he can't have missed it by much. None of the United players had picked up that run.
He didn't miss it by much at all, Jim. Brilliant ball in from Toffolo down the left side. Sort of bundled his way through a couple of challenges and then just got it onto that left foot and flashed it across the box. And Gibbs-White sprinting in there, diving almost with his head, just can't quite make contact.
St Johnstone 2 up at Aberdeen in the Premiership. Remember, Celtic 7-0 against Dundee at the moment. Rangers 2-1 at Kilmarnock. Chelsea about to beat Leeds. They lead 3-2 in stoppage time. The Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. This one still dead level at 0-0. Bruno Fernandes playing it forward. Now Rashford! And he's blazed it wide of the near post. And he kicks one of the advertising hoardings in frustration. He's cutting such a disconsolate figure, Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, he's got himself into a good situation there. If it had been on his right side, I'd have fancied him. On his left, ball sat up. Got to try and really get over that and get that on target, and hits it hard, but it's never ever worrying Matt Turner. It's a decent opportunity, that, but again, what's not easy for Marcus Rashford is that he's just been on the edges of it, the fringes of the game, and you're expecting him to produce miracles from half-chance situations when he's not really been involved. He hasn't figured much.
Well, last season he scored here for Manchester United in a convincing win in the League Cup semi-final. But he's only scored 5 goals this season, all told, Rashford, in 32 games. When you bear in mind he got 30 last season, that is some drop-off in productivity. Murillo doing well, chesting down a throw from Toffolo, finding Danilo. Forest can change the line of attack. We've got 8 to go. Right-footed ball inside the area, and Awoniyi putting the pressure on. Varane had to get his feet out of the way of that, because had it hit him, it could easily have gone past Onana for an own goal.
It's a brilliant ball in from Anthony Elanga, it really is. Rafa Varane doesn't want to touch it. He's facing Andre Onana, Varane, on the edge of the 6-yard box, and the ball bounces about a yard between the two of them. Varane's thinking, I don't want to go anywhere near that. The goalkeeper can't come and get it, and thankfully for United, there's no other red shirt in there to apply a finishing touch.
7 minutes to go. Ahmad has lost it. Here comes Taiwo Awoniyi. Ahmad did really well to get back and win it back within a couple of seconds. Now Amrabat can drive forward and will continue his run towards the edge of the penalty area, having popped the ball to his left. Garnacho's inside the box, faced up by Williams. Yates comes back, right-footed ball inside the box, chested down by McTominay. Right-footed effort just over from Casemiro.
Lucky Casemiro there. That's what I mean about when you're on the edge of the box and the ball comes back to you, and you decide you're not going to put your head down and really lash it. You're going to try and wrap your foot around it. You are looking for top corners. That's exactly what Casemiro did there. He wasn't that far away.
6.5 to go, plus stoppage time, and then maybe plus extra time as well. 0-0 the score. Manchester United bringing the ball forward through the midfield. Amrabat poking it forward towards Ahmad on this near touchline. Just his 3rd appearance of the season. They've all come off the bench. Ahmad again coming into a more central area. Yates giving him no room to work. Fernandes then tries to poke it forward for Rashford. It's an overhead kick in the second phase of play from Fernandes to scoop it over his shoulder, and he just bounces all the way through for Turner. And Nottingham Forest are going to be able to bring it away. Murillo looking long. He's got a fantastic range of passing, the Brazilian centre-half. He's trying to ping a low one through for Gibbs-White's run. Forest have got it back on the touchline away from McTominay. Danilo did well, so too Hudson-Odoi. Awonyi now inside the centre circle for Yates, who gets it away from Bruno Fernandes and finds Williams. Forest venturing slowly into Manchester United territory. It looks dead set for extra time, this, with 5.5 to go.
Yeah, it does. Both teams petrified of making that crucial mistake. They just might throw this tie away.
Hudson-Odoi making his way towards the edge of the penalty area, off the retreating Amrabat. Could have let that go out of play for a corner. He elected to play it. Hudson-Odoi's back on his feet. Lays it back for Toffolo's first time ball in. Hits Casemiro, and Varane will head the looping deflection away. Ahmad trying to help it on. He can, and so too can Rashford, but straight into Forest territory where there is no United player. Chelsea have won an up-and-down game live on Talksport 2. They've beaten Leeds by 3-2, and they will play Leicester in the quarterfinals in a repeat of that 2021 final. Chelsea through. Here's Toffolo, has a look, he's onside, pulls it back, it's Gibbs-White, and it's a fine save from Onana. Wouldn't have counted anyway, because now the flag comes up against Toffolo. Yeah. He knew, he had such a long look at the assistant referee, gave it away, but Akio Harrison put the flag up late. Good save that from Onana, mate.
Great save from Onana. It was right at him, really well struck from Morgan Gibbs-White. It was Harry Toffolo from that left-back position. Just United were holding a hard line, holding it really strong. And Toffolo, it looked like he'd beaten that. Tell you what, if it had been checked, he's just off. It's a really good call for the linesman on the far side, but the ball was cut back right on the edge of the box. Morgan Gibbs-White takes the touch, it just bubbles up, he hits it on the half volley. It's going right on the roof of the net until Onana makes a stop.
So Chelsea are through. Looks like Wolves may well be joining them. Here's Talksport's Adam Bridge.
7.5 minutes to go here. It's still Wolves 1, Brighton here. I think Brighton could probably play all night without scoring so much of the ball, but without really troubling Jose Sarro, creating any great opportunities, as Welbeck puts a header just over the top after the cross by the young Argentinian Barco, who's just come on. We're into the final 7. It's Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
Wolves just minutes away from just a second quarter-final in 21 years. 0-0. Here at the City Ground, Varane playing it forward, chested down by McTominay. Of course, the other aspect of what's happening here tonight is McTominay's foul. Bearing in mind the Manchester derby, United have had a day's less rest anyway because City played last night. They really don't need this going to extra time.
A good point. They most certainly don't. There's more changes that I think that are imminent for Manchester United. There's some movement right down there in front of us, Jim, you can get stuck into in a moment.
Yeah, Kobbie Mainoo is going to be coming on, and Johnny Evans as well. And that might be with one eye to the weekend as well as one eye to the 35 minutes that we're expecting to remain here. Although it could yet be one before that. Manchester United have a free kick, which is out by the left-hand touchline, and it's about 5 yards adrift of the edge of the penalty area. Dalot just caught by his former teammate Anthony Elanga. Now, the goal from this, you would feel, would be enough for United. So United with 5 forward inside the penalty area. Another one on the edge of the D. It's a low skidding ball in, and it is headed in. Casemiro. They lead by a goal to nil in the 89th minute, and the away fans are in raptures. This has not been a vintage Manchester United performance. Let me tell you, some nights it is just about the result.
Yeah.
This is one of those. For Mark Robbins in 1990, then Casemiro in 2024.
It's a really clever ball whipped in from Bruno Fernandes, because he's got a wide free kick and everyone's expecting it to come in between penalty spot and 6-yard box for the big guys to get their head on it. Instead of that, he whips it, almost shoots towards the near post, and Casemiro, who's alive to it, alert to it, darts into that area. He looks like he's onside, There was Rafa Varane standing in an offside position, but he's got nothing to do with it at all. It's such a clever ball, and Casemiro, all he knows is if he can get anything on that, Matt Turner towards the near post got no chance. And he just gets the faintest of touches, and it goes through the Forest goalkeeper's legs, ironically, and nestles in the back of the net. It's the faintest of touches from the Brazilian, but my goodness, it's an important one.
The angle on it was absolute perfection, because it just drew it away from Danilo, who's defending that near post area. And it only bounced about 2.5 feet up. And Casemiro stooped, and Manchester United have the lead. But the VAR is checking the goal.
Is he checking
for a possible offside?
Well, it's like we had in the cup final. Is Varane blocking someone, preventing them from marking Casemiro? We saw this at the weekend in the Carabao Cup final at Wembley, didn't we? With Endo, that was adjudged. But it's just whether or not the man that Varane is blocking is trying to get across to Casemiro. It's very difficult to see from these angles that we have right in front of us right now.
Well, Varane is definitely offside, and he's blocking Yates. Now, the angle that the ball has come in, I don't think Yates, he certainly can't get goal side of Casemiro to stop the header coming in. And I don't think he can get a blocking run in on Casemiro anyway. He's Danilo's man, he's not necessarily trying to do that.
But they cancelled one of the weekend, Jim, didn't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And I didn't think Levi Colwill was getting that to that one either. But he got the benefit of the doubt. Chris Kavanagh waits, hands on hips. He's still in the middle of the field. He's not coming over to the screen or in any way. It's being looked at by the guys who are in control of VAR this evening. Rafa Varane, no doubt about it, is offside. But the ball doesn't come anywhere near him. It goes towards the near post where Casemiro is waiting to put his head on it. It's just, has there been some interference on one of those Forest defenders to prevent them from maybe denying Casemiro?
Well, Andy, I'm speculating now, but the fact that they haven't called him over, and it's going to stand, it stands. It is 1-0 to Manchester United. The fact they didn't call him over made me think that perhaps they weren't looking. It wasn't a subjective decision as to whether Varane was blocking him. Maybe it was just so tight, Casemiro himself, that they were just having to draw the lines and be very careful that everything was in the right place. Casemiro with the header. It took him 3 minutes to prove that it was onside. It was, and Manchester United lead. We've gone into 5 minutes of stoppage time, which won't start until play resumes. Let's get news of another Liverpool goal at Anfield from Mark.
It's Liverpool 2, Southampton 0. Another Liverpool goal, another youngster, 18-year-old Jayden Dance, played in Bay Elliott. It's an exquisite finish in front of the cup. His first Liverpool goal. Liverpool 2, Southampton 0.
So Jason Kumas' lad and Neil Dan's son have both scored the goals. And Liverpool lead Southampton, and it looks all of a sudden as though it's going to be Liverpool-Manchester United in the quarter-finals.
Certainly does, because that goal stands. Big call, tight call, but Casemiro gets the benefit of the doubt. Brilliant ball in from Bruno Fernandes. Not been one of his best nights, far from it. Not been any real Manchester United star out there this evening, but doesn't matter. It looks like they're heading into the quarterfinals unless Forest have got something pretty special in whatever's left of this game.
So there are going to be a raft of changes. Firstly for Forest, Danilo coming off, and he's going to be replaced by the Portuguese teenage striker Rodrigo Ribeiro, who comes on for his home debut. He's on loan from Sporting. He got a few seconds at Bournemouth, and he comes on for his second Forest appearance tonight. Amrabat's going to come off for United, and he'll be replaced by Johnny Evans. Casemiro had to receive a little bit of treatment for a slight cut that he took to the face in the immediate aftermath of his goal, but he's been patched up. Mainu is going to come on as well, and he will replace Scott McTominay. Meanwhile, the Dundee fight back's on. They're down to 10 men. They got the first back, just 6 to go with 6 minutes. It's Celtic 7, Dundee 1. Great to see Michael Mellon back in action for Dundee after the horrific head injury that he picked up recently. And he's back involved and scores his 17th of the season. It's clearly a consolation. Celtic 7, Dundee 1 there. Also in Scotland, Motherwell have turned it around at Livingston, the bottom club, with Blair Spittle giving the Well a 2-1 lead. We're back underway. So 4 minutes of stoppage time have elapsed, but the 5 minutes will only start now, really. So we should go through to 90 plus 9. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. Gibbs White playing it back through the midfield. Forrest trying to get the bodies forward quickly. Ribeiro waiting in the penalty area. Gibbs White slipping it in. Just too much on that for Nico Williams. And he goes out of play. They've also brought Rayner on to replace Yates. Gio Reyna, whose father once lost the 5th round tie to United. That was back when he was a City player, Claudio Reyna. And his son may well be about to do the same again here. Forest 0, Manchester United 1. 4 minutes of stoppage time to go. Forest needing an equaliser to prevent Manchester United meeting Liverpool at Old Trafford in a mouth-watering FA Cup quarter-final tie.
Well, I've enjoyed the night, I've enjoyed the game, and if it finishes this way for United, it's a great win, because they haven't played great, hung in there. Forest's second half have disappointed me. I thought they'd raise a better head of steam. I thought they'd produce a little more. They haven't really. They've got another chance. They've just got a free kick right on the halfway line, and surely this is going to end up right on the penalty spot. All the big guys are rushing forward.
So Gibbs White will take it from halfway. 3.5 to go, we think. Then Gibbs White will take this free kick. Both arms above his head. Smacks it right-footed towards the edge of the penalty area. Head's going up for it on the far side. Murillo's going to be able to bring it down on the touchline, but had a thankless task being able to keep it in.
I don't know where he's going with that, Morgan Gibbs White. He's gone wide with that free kick, high and wide. Look, what you do is you get as much height on it as you can and you put it on that penalty spot. And they're not easy to get your head on and clear with any real distance, and the ball can bobble down. That's what they haven't done second half, Forest. They've not kept it alive in United's box anywhere near enough. They've almost run out of energy a bit second half. They've been a bit flat. And really and truly, United, if they'd have been able to produce something a bit better earlier, I think they'd have got home and hosed with 20 minutes to go. As it was, it's happened right at the last minute. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. This tonight was never about the quality of this United performance. It's just about getting into those quarterfinals and giving them a chance to get a trophy.
They won at Wigan, they won at Newport, and they lead at Nottingham Forest with just over 2 minutes to go. Toffolo heading the ball away, chested down by Gibbs White. Back for Harry Toffolo in the left-back position for Forest. Forward from him to Hudson-Odoi. Rides the challenge of Casemiro with ease. Driving into the Manchester United half. Well stopped by the retreating Fernandes, who did well to win it back. Anger from the Forest fans in front of us at how easy that was. And United will play it forward effectively down towards Garnacho, who will try and maintain possession down by the corner flag. Williams is down there, forcing Garnacho to play it. It's worked it inside the penalty area for Mainu. The Ole's out from the Manchester United fans at the Bridgeford end of the ground. Now the perfect view of that stooping Casemiro header, which seemingly is going to get Manchester United through and book a home tie with Liverpool. It's just over a minute to go. And United have possession in the form of a throw near the corner flag they're attacking. This is perfect for them just to run a few more seconds off the clock. They are very nearly there. And the Forest fans, sensing the worst, heading for the exits now. Ball over on the far touchline with Manchester United, and having taken the throw and worked it short, they've now got a corner, and there's a confrontation over on the far side down by the corner flag. An angry reaction from a couple of the Forest players over there. Nico Williams is in there trying to act as peacemaker. Bruno Fernandes never too far away, and neither Felipe, and there's a little bit of snarling going on. Chris Kavanagh has gone and calmed it all down. It is going to be a corner that United will take, and I reckon there's only, about 45, 50 seconds or so to go.
United, listen, Bruno Fernandes is on the ball. They'll keep this ball right in that corner flag. Invite a challenge, invite a foul. That's what you have to do. Forest, we've got about 5 men around the corner, all ready to run in and try and pinch it off of Bruno Fernandes and transfer it up the field, but not going to happen. United will keep it there and just try and boot it against the red shirt when they come and close them down and get another corner or a throw-in.
The referee is just having a look at Felipe grabbing Bruno Fernandes. Well, I say grabbing. The right arm was round the Adam's apple. How much force there was, I don't know. And the VAR has said, OK, you can just get on with it. There's no serious foul play, no need for a red card. United take the corner, they worked it short, straight back to Fernandes, who was offside because he was still down by the corner quadrant. So it's a free kick to Forest, and United making a right mess of retaining possession there.
Just keep the ball there, that's all they had to do. Now they're giving Forest one last chance to transfer that ball. It's got to go.
Hugely unnecessary as well. Murillo out towards the right-hand side. Erik Ten Hag will be livid if Forest score from this. McTominay digs it away from the edge of the box, and Manchester United have won it. 10 injured, Ten Hag under pressure, tenacious and victorious. Not at their best by any stretch of the imagination, but United have won it with Casemiro's diving header a minute from the end of normal time. Sometimes you've just got to win, and United have done that tonight, and they might still be able to get some silverware out of the wreckage of a disappointing season. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1, Liverpool away.